Hey, how's it going? Today we're going to be pushing some black and white film. I recently started pushing my black and white film to fight off the rising prices of film that I'm sure every single one of you is aware of. But with that in mind, I've been shooting my Arista 200 at 400. And why would I do such a crazy thing? Well, in my opinion, shooting this Ultra 200 at 400 gets you a really nice natural contrast. Typically this means deeper blacks, darker shadows, and an overall more visible grain. This isn't necessarily going to change the look of your grain per se, but you are going to see more of it. Now, I'm not the first, second, or even the third person to push their black and white film, but I think these rolls that I shot recently give you a pretty good summary of what you can expect. So I grabbed my Nikon F that was already loaded with my Arista 200 that I was shooting at 400, as well as a roll of FP4 that I was planning on pushing 2 stops to get to 500. And so our adventures take us about an hour or so south to Grantville. And we spent the better part of our day there just walking around, hoping the deep-ish south was going to treat us with gentle hospitality. I really like this photo of this toilet. I think that because the film has been pushed, the pure white of the toilet is nice and bright, but the highlights aren't super harsh. And because the shadows of the grass are deep, the balance of the overall image feels right. Nice. After we milked Grantville for all it could offer us, we traveled further south, stopping only for premium grubbage before finding the set of abandoned trains. This was the last of the roll of Arista before I decided to load in some FP4 in pure sunlight. Now we can all admire this questionable technique that led to a couple unfortunate light leaks for my first few frames.
That flew inside my ear.
And without much convincing, we hopped aboard the Polar Express for some sweet photogs. If we ignore the super dope and intentional light leak, I want to say that this was the exact look that I was trying to get with pushing film. I shot a really similar frame shortly after at a quicker shutter speed, and I think I like the fall off here into the shadows. You have just enough detail in the shadows to find the edge of the frame, but you have the deep blacks of the hallway to give the illusion that the train goes on forever. And I like a little mystery. We kept the party going as we almost made it to our original destination before stopping at a relatively safe feeling gas station. Finally, we made it to our destination, and I'd have to say that I'm a little bit disappointed in the photos that I took here. I think that the issue is that the shadows are a little too deep, and so all of the shadow detail kind of blends together and there's nothing to separate the island in the middle from the other side of the lake. To finish off the roll, I went to a car/air show with my mom. This is one of my favorite photos from this part of the roll. Again, these deepened shadows feel so intense and give the plane itself a bit more of a dramatic feel, and I tried to avoid as much of the sunlight in this frame as possible so I could shoot a bit more open to get that nice focus fall off. Here's a little comparison between the pushed FP4 and the HP5. The grain differences are a bit minute, but the FP4's is still a finer grain, even though it's been pushed. You get a noticeable increase in the shadows of the HP5 without having to bring anything up in post. And again, the biggest difference to me is that the contrast is considerably higher in the FP4. And there you have it. I will definitely be pushing my FP4 from now on, unless I'm looking to shoot portraits, but all in all, I think I really like the look of this, and I would say it was a rather successful roll. Thank you for watching.